So you know what? I'm gonna have to eat my own words here, and it's words that I didn't even tell you guys, because when I heard about the Titan Warfare Survival PvE update and saw it in my feed, I was like, yeah, whatever. Who cares? The Titans are brain dead, the AI sucks, there's no way this is gonna be fun, and I'll just stick to PvP, thank you very much. And oh man, that is the worst take of all time. This shit is so much fun. It's basically make yourself feel like a badass simulator. And I'm not gonna censor any of that. Come after me, YouTube. I also considered not making a video on the Titan Warfare update because, well, Titan Warfare isn't really a game that a whole lot of people view on the channel. I figured since it was Roblox that people would click it anyway, but apparently that's not true. It has to be Roblox JoJo, YBA in particular. But I don't care. Roblox JoJo be damned, no views be damned, the update needs to be covered because in Titan Warfare fashion, it's awesome. And it is so much fun to play, and if you haven't gotten a chance to, go ahead. I will say that the game mode is about 1,000 times better with friends, so if you can get 2 or 3 people to play it with you, oh man, it's a blast. In my case, in the footage you're seeing right now, I just opened a public server and asked some of my fans to join in on me, and we played a few rounds. But after that, I hopped in with some of my buddies from the R Kings gang, and we played for 4 hours straight. Seriously, this little side game mode distraction is a blast. Now obviously, you're not gonna be an expert right off the bat, and you'll likely end up like a few of my friends from said gang who, well, let's just say struggled a lot. Especially if you haven't already played Titan Warfare, and especially if you haven't played too much of the Eldians, assuming you've already played Titan Warfare. Killing your first few Titans may be a bit of a struggle, and you'll probably get grabbed and chomped more than a few times. But don't give up, because the feeling of swinging from Titan to Titan, chopping them up, is rivaled by nothing I've ever played in the last few months. To add on to the already massively positive news, I know that a lot of you guys that play Roblox on the regular play it on mobile, and unfortunately the PvP for Titan Warfare, yeah, not available on mobile. And you can really kind of see why. It's very difficult. You need a lot of micro movements. There's a lot of skill involved. And honestly, mobile just as a platform, it would be very difficult to support that. But because this is a PvE game mode, while I'm sure mobile players might be on the struggle bus just by the nature of it being on mobile, you can play this mode. So, mobile players rejoice, you can finally play a real game mode in Titan Warfare. Now I've gushed a whole lot, but I really haven't explained the game mode itself yet, so might as well do that right now, shall we? Titan Warfare's new survival mode is most akin to Call of Duty Zombies, if any of you know or have played that. So much so that even the abnormal Titans make COD zombie noises, which is a little bit jarring if you've played Call of Duty Zombies. But regardless, the goal of the game is simple. Protect your fort, kill all the Titans, don't die. Aiding you in this process is, of course, any teammates that you decide to bring with you, whether it be randoms you find through the matchmaking system or manually inviting friends via private lobby, as well as a fair few skills and a shop that you earn points by killing Titans that you can use at the end of every single round. The shop has things like medkits to heal yourself, Titan Shifter Serum to become a Titan Shifter, as well as upgrades and repairs to your fort, among other things. Just like in PvP, your point gain is based off of how much damage you do, so the faster you're going when you kill a Titan, the more points you're gonna get. Another question that some of you may be asking right now is how exactly does progression work in this new game mode, and is it tied to PvP? Short answer is yes and also no. I actually think the way they decided to go about it was pretty well done, albeit not perfect, but given the circumstances, I think the way it works is just fine. Basically, you have 2 cash values, cash for PvP and cash for survival. The shops for PvP and PvE hold different items, but some of those items persist across the 2 game modes. By some of those items, I'm basically only talking about Titan Shifters because, as far as I know, those are the only 2 things that persist across both game modes. So in other words, if you already have all the Titans in the PvP game mode, you will have all the Titans in the PvE game mode. What differs in the survival shop though is how perks work. Rather than having 3 passive boosts that you get in PvP, in PvE you get access to 1 active skill. And these active skills can only be bought with survival cash and don't exist in the PvP game modes. Some of the active skills are things we've already seen in the game, and some of them, as far as I know, are entirely new. The skills that are available in survival are as follows. Hand cut, which will cut you free if a Titan grabs you. Tendon cut, which is a skill from Levi's moveset that immediately cuts the ankles off of a Titan. Auto blind, which is another Levi's skill that automatically blinds a Titan, throwing your blades at their eyes. Auto nape cut, which automatically attacks the Titan's nape and kills it if you're near it. And spin, another move from Levi that makes you spin around and you're invincible with a consistent hitbox. I've got some issues with the way the skills are implemented, but we'll get there. I want to finish talking about everything that the game mode has to offer. And so with that, we move into talking about Bloodlines, which is basically just the please give us money of this update. And you know what? I get it. I respect the hustle. It's a free-to-play game. They gotta make their money somehow. And in survival, this is how they're doing it. Basically, the takeaway you should get from Bloodlines before I even explain it is if you pay a bunch of money or you win the lottery, then you get some extra passive buffs. And if you don't want to pay, then it's more down to your skills. And really, when it comes down to it, it's down to your skills anyway. So none of these Bloodline things are going to help you out a whole lot. But they're there and they give you a little bit of an edge, so let's talk about them. When it comes to your personal Bloodline, you have 1 active at a time, and when you spin this little wheel, it gives you a random one that replaces your current one. The percentage of obtaining any given bloodline is always available to you, as well as what the bloodlines actually do. As for what the bloodlines do, it varies across the board, but most of it is either reducing costs for Titans, increasing the damage that Titan shifters do, or just increasing your damage as a whole, which increases point gain. Nothing here is gonna make you invincible or give you any sort of insta-kill or instant round 15 skip. It really just comes down to you can pay for a little bit of an edge or hope you get lucky. Finally, the last thing that I didn't talk about is difficulties. Currently there's 3 and I've only played 1, so maybe I shouldn't be talking about this since I'm not experienced. Easy mode, I assume, is basically mobile mode. Absolutely throwing shade at mobile players, but I hate to tell you guys, you're just on an inferior platform that's harder to control, so this game mode is probably for you. Normal mode is for sane people who just want to blow off some steam and kill some Titans. And finally, abnormal mode is for psychopaths who hate themselves and hate fun. Abnormal mode, every single Titan is either an abnormal or a crawler, and I can't imagine that being very much fun, so I haven't played it. The rewards in this mode are increased by I think 30%, as well as them being decreased in the easy mode. But seriously, abnormals are a pain as it is to kill. Do we really need everything to be abnormals and crawlers? I know people call me a masochist sometimes, but how would anyone play this? Whatever, I don't want to know. I'm not playing it. So I've talked about the game mode, I've gushed about Titan Warfare as I always do, but there are some problems and I do have some gripes, so we'll talk about that now. First of all, the thing that I already mentioned, which is I'm not a huge fan of how the skill system works, because it feels like in a game mode like this, where it's specifically designed to make you feel cool and overpowered in a sense, versus extreme odds, the fact that you can get all these skills, but you're always bound to just one of them, feels like, I don't know, it just feels wrong. And it feels even more wrong because the perk system in the PvP section of the game lets you have 3 perks at a time. Never mind the fact that the perks from the PvP section are completely absent here, which is kind of frustrating. I don't see why they felt the need to totally remove the perk system instead of just adding on to it with the skill system. Some of the things like faster ODM boosts and faster ODM gear as a whole would be really helpful here. And they could also add some extra perks like more blade health and some other things that may only really matter in these kind of game modes, but it would be cool to see them and add more things to progress to. In regards to the skills themselves, the balancing on these skills seems to be a little bit whack, and that's probably because you can only equip one of them. The spin skill in particular is extremely underpowered right now, and it's the last unlock and the most expensive skill. For some reason, probably because they just lifted the skill straight from multiplayer, the cooldown for this skill is almost a minute as opposed to the 30 seconds of most of the other skills. On top of that, this skill isn't even a guarantee. You may use it and then get launched off into the moon or something and get nothing out of it. 30 seconds does sound like a bit of a sweet spot when it comes to being able to use some of the skills, so it's weird that this one takes so long. The 2-minute cooldown on Hand Slice I totally understand, but the minute one here, yeah, I'm lost. So yeah, on that front, I wish you could use more than one skill, and I wish the skills were more in line when it comes to cooldowns to power. I also wish that we could use perks, but you know what? It is what it is. The other two things have to do with point gain and Titan shifters. The first one being, it really sucks trying to play this game when you're not really very good because you feel like you're never adding anything. Or at least that's how it seemed when I was playing with some of my friends, as well as playing with some of the randoms that I played with. You only get points from damaging and killing Titans, which logically would make sense. But if you have someone who's really good that can go around and kill all the Titans really quickly, it means that they'll get all the points and the people who aren't as good won't get anything. Meaning that those people can't really add anything to the game. I think it would make a lot of sense if you got a sort of income at the end of every round so that the new players who don't really know what they're doing still get some points and still get to use Titan shifters or help repair the fort or any of those things. Because right now you could play up to round 25 with 0 points. And on that page of Titan shifters, right now if you buy the Titan shifter serum, the second you purchase it, your points become nerfed into oblivion, even if you're not the Titan. What I mean is, if you go and kill a Titan while holding the shifter serum in your inventory, you'll get 1 point, no matter how fast you're going. This almost makes holding onto the Titan shifter serum and not using it immediately totally pointless, because you're basically taking points away from every single other person in the lobby every time you kill a Titan. So at that point, you might as well transform. But if that in of itself was the only problem, then it probably wouldn't be a big deal. The problem is that that point reduction doesn't reset until you die fully. So if you're playing solo, it means the second that you buy a Titan serum, you can't get points anymore, because if you die, the game is over. It also means that certain Titans, like the Colossal, that only have 1 eject, are basically encouraged to just die. It seems really strange that you're encouraged to die. And on the front of encouraging to die, one thing that I forgot about, it's really weird that you have to buy medkits and they disabled resetting in this game mode, because really that doesn't add a whole lot, and you're only ever gonna take enough damage to need a medkit after like 10 to 15 rounds. Honestly, if it were up to me, it should just heal you at the end of every single round if you're a regular soldier. Because what my friends and I were doing was just having Titans kill us at the end of rounds in order to get our health back rather than waste points on medkits. And you shouldn't have to do that. You should just heal. I don't think there should ever be a point where you're encouraged or it's helpful to die. But all things considered, all of those complaints are really minor, because at the end of the day, the game mode is still fun as hell. I had a ton of fun playing it, and I'm sure I'll continue to have a ton of fun playing it when I need to blow off some steam and I just want to kill myself some Titans. I think the best takeaway that I got from this new PvE update is that there is hope for the PvE of this game, because initially I was just focused on PvP, didn't care at all about PvE, and when I heard about the PvE update, as I said, I wrote it off and figured this isn't gonna matter. But now I'm super excited. I think they said they're hoping on adding boss fights and potentially more objective-driven missions, and I think that could be super cool and super fun. So all in all, I'm really excited for the future, and this update was a banger. That's all I've got for today's video though. So if you're one of the few people that watch these videos and you enjoyed it, you can leave a like, subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications so that you actually get notified when these go out rather than just YBA. And that's it for now, so have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.